Hey guys, it's me, BasketBrain, and I am back with another video. So today we are going to be doing 10 NBA trades that must happen this offseason. And I have been gone for quite a while, but that is because in the month of June I have been pretty busy, and for the entire month of July I have been on vacation, a month-long vacation in my lake house in Maine. And while I plan to continue uploading there, the unfortunate thing is my laptop broke, so I'm going to get that fixed. So right now I'm actually uploading this on a desktop, and that's gonna be a little bit harder, but hey, I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm back home now, so I'm gonna get back on the grind. And also, if you could please hit that red subscribe button. We are so close to 100 subscribers. It would make my day if you could subscribe, but you do not. But you, like always, you are never required to. But anyway, enough of me talking. Let's get into the video. So the first trade we have is Zion to the Hornets in exchange for Bismack Biyombo, PJ Washington, and a 2022 first-round pick. Now, this one I had heard, this isn't the exact trade, but I had heard rumors shuffling around, I think from an Instagram post. I can't find the post anymore. But basically, it said that Zion, there was some kind of correlation between Zion and Michael Jordan. I don't really know. I can't remember. Like I said, I can't find the post. But bottom line is that the Hornets were rumored to try and finding as much talent they could put around LaMelo as possible. And that would make sense because LaMelo has been doing so good and they want to get as much talent as they can. And then this trade, Zion, and then there's the whole turmoil in New Orleans, how they missed the playoffs, and that Zion's apparently already unhappy with them. So this would be a good trade for the Hornets. They'd be able to get Zion to pair with LaMelo, and the Pelicans, they could get some good value in exchange. PJ Washington, another young player, and a 2022 pick, potentially draft another young player, and Biyombo is just alright. But anyway, that's basically it for that trade. For this next trade, we have Ben Simmons to the LA Clippers in exchange for Serge Ibaka, Patrick Beverley, Patrick Patterson, and a 2024 second-round pick. Now, for this trade, the Sixers have stated they are open to trading Ben Simmons. However, they would only do it for an all-star caliber player. But I don't really think that that's a very likely goal, simply because his value is just at an all-time low after the playoffs and his disappointment. So I really don't think that they're going to get an all-star caliber player. But this trade, it still gives them some good players in exchange. You get some form of talent. Patrick Beverley, he's pretty good. Serge Ibaka, if you'd have to accept his player option for this trade to work. But assuming that he does, he's still a decent player you could have. Patrick Patterson, you'd have to re-sign him or he would just walk. It doesn't matter. He's not the most vital part to this trade. But you could still get some good talent, and then you still get a second-round pick out of it. So some decent talent for the Sixers to start moving in a different direction. And for the Clippers, while Ben Simmons, he did disappoint and cannot shoot, he's still a good point guard, great defender, and if this could help convince Kawhi to stay, even though I think he would stay anyway. And then Kawhi and Ben Simmons on defense, that would be absolutely lethal. So they would probably be one of the best defensive teams in the league. And even then, Ben Simmons, he's not garbage, he just was a disappointment. Next up, we got Kristaps Porzingis to the Portland Trail Blazers in exchange for CJ McCollum, and they would swap 2022 second-round picks. Now, for this trade, Kristaps Porzingis has expressed frustration with the Mavericks organization, as he feels like he's not a co-star to Luka, but rather just another wing scorer. And I think that it is, in fact, in the Mavericks' best interest to trade him and get someone that they could utilize better. And with Porzingis to the Blazers, I think the Blazers, they could use someone like him because they could get some good shooting if they're parting ways with their shooter McCollum, and he's also still insanely tall, so he can still be a good defensive presence as well, even if he's not the best. But yeah, and then we got CJ McCollum going to the Mavericks. I think that he could be utilized well as even though he was a disappointment in the playoffs, he could still be utilized well as a wing scorer, which is what the Mavericks are doing with Porzingis anyways. But now they're using someone in that role who really needs to be in that role, just another wing scorer instead of a full-on co-star. And then the picks are just going to amount to whatever they amount to. For the next trade, we have Lonzo Ball to the Chicago Bulls in exchange for Cristiano Felicio and Daniel Tice. Now, this trade would only go down if both sides are able to re-sign all the guys in this trade, because there is a chance that Lonzo could just straight up sign with the Bulls instead of doing the trade. But I think that the Pelicans are going to try what they can, because even if they trade him, they want to get some value for him, even if it's not great. So assuming that they were to all re-sign with their teams, then this trade could go down to where Lonzo Ball gets traded to the Bulls, and then the Bulls would get Lonzo, a good point guard, to pair up with Zach LaVine and to continue their continue their rebuild, which is going quite smoothly. And then the Pelicans, they could get some sort of value for Lonzo. Cristiano Felicio, I mean, he's decent and he's still younger, so he could help them out a little bit. And Daniel Tice, he's also pretty decent and just some good, helps improve the bench depth. Next up, we got Kyle Kuzma to the Pacers. So we'd have Kyle Kuzma, Alfonso McKinney, a Montrezl Harrell, and their first round pick this year to the Pacers in exchange for Miles Turner and Karis LeVert. Now, for the Lakers, they have been trying to move on from Kyle Kuzma, and Montrezl Harrell is just someone that they don't really need necessarily. Then Kyle Kuzma, even though he claims he could still be an all-star, I'm starting to lose a little bit of hope, and Lakers are trying to move past him. And while this may not be the best trade, it still gives them some value because it seems like they're going to lose Andre Drummond, so they can replace his spot on the team with Miles Turner, who's a pretty good center, as well as getting Karis LeVert. Because Miles Turner, his role did diminish with Sabonis being much better than everyone anticipated. But Miles Turner, he still is a good center and would probably fit nice in on this Lakers team that will lose Andre Drummond. And the Pacers, it'll just help them in their weird, kind of awkward state. So yeah. And the 2021 first round pick, that could turn into something, but we don't really know. Now we have a trade that would send Pascal Siakam to the Warriors in exchange for Andrew Wiggins, James Wiseman, and the 14th pick in this year's draft. Now, for the Warriors, they have stated that they do want to pair another superstar around Steph Curry and Klay. Klay is finally going to come back after 2 years. Hopefully he holds the form, but that's a topic for another day.
Music licensing.
And to do that, while Pascal Siakam, he did not have the best season last year, I still think that he can bounce back. The Raptors are sort of in an awkward state, playing in Tampa and all that. But I think that Pascal Siakam will be able to bounce back this year and would fit pretty nicely in with the Warriors, considering that they really do not have amazing bigs on that team. And then for the Raptors, they're sort of in a weird state where I think it's probably just time for them to start rebuilding, and then getting rid of Pascal could be the first step. They're going to lose Kyle Lowry most likely as well. So it's just time to move on. And Andrew Wiggins, that's a whole discussion on whether he's going to amount to something better than he is now or whatever. So they can hold on to him. He could be good. And then James Wiseman, he's still young. He's still young, so he still has lots of time to develop. So that could be a good move to help towards rebuilding, as well as getting another first-round pick. So they would have 2 lottery picks. They'd have this one and the number 4 overall pick, which was extremely lucky for them. But yeah, we'll see what they do. And for the Warriors, it's getting another superstar, and we'll see if they can retake their spot in the West. Now for this trade, this one sort of goes against the title of the video, but it's still one that's interesting to talk about because this one's very conditional instead of one that's going to happen. So, but hey, still more topics to talk about, more interesting things to discuss. Now this trade would send John Wall and Eric Gordon to the New York Knicks in exchange for Derrick Rose, Frank Ntilikina, and a 2021 first-round pick from Dallas. Now, this is very conditional because both Derrick Rose and Frank Ntilikina are free agents, so they would have to re-sign with the Knicks to be able to be traded. And the Knicks, it only seems this would be something they would do in a last-ditch effort to gain talent. Because for the Knicks, they were a 4 seed this year, but did fall flat in the playoffs. So now they're trying to get as much talent as they can to pair with Julius Randle. And John Wall, I don't think is their first option when it comes to getting talent. That would probably be someone like a Kyle Lowry, Kawhi Leonard, or something like that, or a DeMar DeRozan. And I don't think that it is entirely realistic that this trade happened. But if the Knicks have exhausted all options and they have re-signed Derrick Rose, Frank Ntilikina, then this trade could go down, and it would give the Knicks the talent hopefully that they're looking for. And Eric Gordon's a decent role player. And then the Rockets, Derrick Rose, also a decent role player. And Frank Ntilikina, I mean, he was sort of a bust, but I mean, hey, he's still got time. Now for this one, this is just a very small trade, straight up Mo Bamba for Buddy Hield. Now, this one, I think it's just a good way to help both teams. Both teams are in a struggling position, both rebuilding. And Buddy Hield is probably a good player to add to this Magic team. And for the Kings, they get Mo Bamba, another center to potentially build around because of how good they were with Boogie. But this one, just not that much to talk about, but still an interesting trade that could potentially happen. Now for this trade, we have the Cavaliers trading Kevin Love and Colin Sexton to the Spurs in exchange for DeJounte Murray, Jakob Poeltl, and a top 5 protected 2022 first-round pick. Now for this trade, Kevin Love, he's just not been what he used to be, and he's got on a really terrible contract. And then for Colin Sexton, Cavaliers have noted they are trying to move away from him, and he's not going to be the guy on that team anymore. So this would make sense for the Spurs. They could get a good, because Colin Sexton, he can still be good, so it would make sense for the Spurs to acquire him. And then Kevin Love, they can just get to whatever. And then for the Cavaliers, they get another good point guard in DeJounte Murray, a young center in Jakob Poeltl who can help improve depth on their team. And they could get a potential lottery pick in 2022. So this would probably be a much better trade for the Cavs than it would be for the Spurs, but that gives the Cavs more reason to do it. And finally, one of the bigger trades that we have to discuss is Damian Lillard to my Boston Celtics. And this would be Damian Lillard in exchange for Tristan Thompson, Marcus Smart, Carson Edwards, Grant Williams, and a 2022 first-round pick. Now, Damian Lillard has been expressing that he is a little unhappy with the Blazers organization, and he could potentially request a trade in the nearby future. And while the rumors are stating that the Celtics are not one of the huge likely teams that would be able to acquire him, more likely like the Heat or the Knicks or something, I still think that this could be a very realistic trade that the Celtics would be open to do. And for the Blazers, they would get Tristan Thompson, who's a decent front court player. They could get Marcus Smart, who's also a very good defender and can still be good on offense. Carson Edwards, Grant Williams are just whatever. They could still develop them, and then they could get a somewhat decent pick in 2022. That pick would probably be low if this trade were to go through, but any talent is talent. So yes, this would be a good trade for the Celtics because the whole Kemba Walker situation, that was not great. And their system does still revolve through a point guard, and it could create a potentially great victory between Damian Lillard, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown. And that's going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please leave a like and hit that red subscribe button for more. And just wait for more in store, because there is going to be another video this week about more basketball, so yay. And then please hit that red subscribe button. We are super close to 100 subscribers, but as always, you are never required to. Feel free to leave a comment if you have any of your own trades that you have going down this off season. And also subscribe to my other channel, Basketball Gaming. Lots more videos going to be going on there as well. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out.